Welcome back, Photoshop fans, to part 2 of the dreaded pen tool. And in this tutorial we're going to be going over the second part of this, which is the actual paths. Select the pen tool and here's the paths. Now the paths works different than the shape layer. Shape layer makes you a shape and then you can customate it and everything, but the paths tool, this will actually, when we click, you'll notice something different straight away, and that is there is no color inside it. Okay, we're just making a path, and when we go to the paths layer you can see that we've made a path. Okay, so what can we do with this? Well, let's let's open up some Thai mangoes. These are some Thai mangoes, and what we're going to do is we're going to make a path, and then we're going to fill it or add stroke to it or do whatever we want to it. Okay, so the way the path works is just simply go around exactly the normal way that you do it. Click and drag, fill out the area that you want, hold down Alt if you wish, depending on the angle. Click and drag, just love that. Click and drag, might be a bit much. And drag. I just want the middle bit, I don't want too much. Okay, so we made our selection of a mango. Okay, now what we want to do now is we want to make a new layer of this selection. Okay, so you simply add a new layer, and with your pen tool still selected, if you hover over the line and you right click, you get brought up some options. You could add anchor points, so it does that, it add anchor points. You could create a vector mask. Okay, meaning you'll see your layer and you'll have a vector mask next to it, and it will also come up in the work path. Okay, let's Control Z that. You can delete the path, you can define a custom shape, which we'll do in a sec, and you can make a selection. What I'm going to quickly do is I'm quickly going to change my paintbrush, 8 pixels. Yep, 8 pixels is fine. Yep, that's fine. So I've just changed my brush from to 8 pixels. I'm going to come back to the pen tool, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to right click on the path and I'm going to make a stroke path. And what this means is it gives me an option here. It gives me an option of where am I going to make my stroke path from, which tool am I going to take it from. Okay, so as I've just changed my brush tool to the 8 pixels, I'm going to choose brush and I'm going to hit OK, and you're going to notice that the foreground color with 8 pixel around it is now made this stroke around it. Now this is quite a nice effect, which means we can, as it's on a new layer, we can call upon it any time. Now you see the line that goes around. If you didn't want to see that line, quite simply hold down Control, Shift and H, and it will hide that line. Okay, you can do the same to bring it back. Okay, so it just allows us to see that stroke better. So that's how the stroke one works. I'm just going to go back a few steps here. Let's just finish this off. Boom. Okay, so that's how that one works. The next one, when we right click and we can fill path, which basically means it's going to choose from the foreground color, the background color, make your own color, add a pattern or do whatever you want. We just quickly take it from the foreground color, which is blue, and we just click, and again, in fact I did something very wrong there. I didn't make a new layer. Remember to make a new layer first. It's good to have these all on new layers. Fill path, foreground color, okay, and now it's on its new layer. So you've just filled it in with blue. Okay, so really quite handy things to know, especially if you're getting into cartoon imaging and stuff like that. Now what else can we do? Let's say we had that as blue, okay, and we actually quite like that. We want to use that for future times. Well, simply right click, define custom shape, and now you've just made a shape of this mango. So we could call this shape Alibaba. Okay, and press OK. Now anytime we go to our shapes palette, which is up the top here, and we go to the bottom, you'll see our mango, which we can just simply use, and it brings up our mango shape. Very handy. If you didn't want it, you could simply right click on the mango shape and delete shape, and it's gone. Okay, so that's what that's what the path does. Remember to always make it on a new layer, and if you wanted to save it as a path, oops, it's all going wrong. Let me just go back to me pen tool. Okay, so remember to if you wanted to make it as a path, create a vector path, and it will do that. Now quickly before this, before we run out of time, I just wanted to show you one other tool, which is a pen tool, and that's this magnetic one. Okay, so you can go to the pen tools down here. What I need to show you quickly is you can also add, you can add a point and you can delete a point. Now the way this works is if you select your pen tool and you have auto add and delete selected, just need to select so you can see the nubs. Okay, so when they're all selected, you can see these points. Okay, go back to your pen tool, and you'll notice if I zoom in, you'll notice that when I hover my mouse over the line, the cursor has a plus sign, so I can add an anchor point at any time. That's with this auto add and delete. And again, if I wanted to go over a point and delete it, I could quite simply just left click on it and it would delete it. So I hover over, it deletes. I hover on the line, it adds. Okay, and then by holding down control with the pen selected, holding down control, you'll see your cursor changes to a white arrow. You then can move it, so you could add an anchor point and you could move it. You could take away an anchor point just by hovering it over the point, and then again you can move it. Okay, move the handles, do whatever you need to do. So that's holding down control. We'll move from the pen tool to the white arrow, which allows you to move stuff. Okay, I just thought I'd quickly show you that too. And before we go, I just wanted to really show you this other one. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm just going to revert this back. It's going to be a lot easier. And that's the magnetic one. So you have here free pen transform. A free pen transform is just normal. You draw and it does the same thing. It makes a selection. Okay, if you click magnetic up here in the box here, you click magnetic and you simply just click once and let the pen follow around. I'm just going to do this roughly. You'll see that it just draws around and it sticks to the color that you want, and it's made a path exactly the same you see here. Okay, again, this would be good to put it on its own layer, and once you have done this, you could go back to the pen tool, you could right click, fill path with whatever color, and there you have it. You have another selection. The magnetic tool is very, very good tool to be using. Sometimes if I had I'll show you what I could do quickly. If I bring up this one page again, if I make just make a circle and I fill it with the background color. Now if we use the magnetic tool on this, you'll see how well it works. Free pen tool with the magnetic selected, and I just simply, I'm not clicking, I'm just drawing, following the line around, just following the line around. I've clicked once, it's going to come back to the top. You see the little circle, select, and look at that. It's really very powerful, and it can save you a lot of headaches. So those two tutorials, sorry they took 2 parts, but it's quite a big tool and it's worth going over. These buttons up here, this is the same as adding, subtracting, intersect paths and exclude paths. It's a bit like the marquee tool where you can add a path, and well worth getting into. Well, that's all the time we got for today. I hope you've sort of worked out the pen tool and it doesn't frustrate you so much. When you get the pen tool, there's these anchor points, add and delete. Okay, just you can use them like I showed you. Just use these options up here. Click the magnetic for the free form pen tool, and just play around with these tools. Just get used to clicking and dragging. Click, click and drag, and remember the Alt. You can click on the Alt in the middle, and then you can start clicking again. You know, great tool. If you want to get good in Photoshop, you really need to learn this tool because you're going to be doing some amazing stuff with it later on. That's all the time we got. Take it easy, boys and girls. I shall catch you at the next tutorial, which will probably be somewhere down here. Take it easy. See you later. Subscribe to my YouTube.